Shalom Talmidim, Devarim Acharim, Perek He. Prepositions, Lesson 5b. Le, B, and K, and the rules of Shewa. Because these three prepositions are spelled with a vocal Shewa, when Le, B, or K is prefixed to a word beginning with a vocal Shewa, the rules of Shewa will apply. Let's review these and look at examples. The first rule was when two vocal Shewas occurred side by side, the first one would become a chirik and the second would become a silent Shewa. So if we want to say like a virgin, we add k to the noun b'thula, and we end up with the final form kivthula, with a chirik under the k and a silent Shewa under the beit. There's an exception to the first rule of Shewa, and that is when the second Shewa is under a yod, the resulting combination simply becomes chirik yod. So when we take the noun Yehuda, Judah, and we add le to it, we end up with Lihuda, with a chirik yod after the lamed. The second rule of Shewa is when a vocal Shewa is added to a word with a composite Shewa, a chatef vowel, the vocal Shewa becomes the corresponding short vowel. So if we want to say in a dream, adding b to chalom, we end up with ba chalom. Similarly, like truth, we end up with ke'emeth, and two tenths, lo ohlim, lo ohalim. And if you remember, there's an exception to the second rule concerning Elohim, God, which is irregular. If we add le to Elohim, we end up with le'elohim, with tsere under the le, and no vowel at all under the aleph. This is the same for b and k, be'elohim, ke'elohim, and the conjunction v, ve'elohim. When v, the conjunction, is added to one of these prefixed prepositions, the special rules about v that we learned in a previous video will apply. When v is added to a word beginning with vocal Shewa, it will be spelled shurek. So if we add le to melech, we end up with le melech, a word beginning with vocal Shewa. If we add and onto that, we end up with u le melech, u le melech. And do you remember the bump rule? When v is added to a word beginning with beit, mem, or pei, it's also spelled with shurek. So if we have house, bait, and we want to say the house, it's habait. If we want to say in the house, and add a b onto the front of it, it becomes babait. If we add and onto this, and in the house, we end up with the form uvabait, uvabait, in the house. This last example included a definite article with one of these prefixed prepositions. We haven't learned that yet. We're going to deal with it in the next video.